Good evening and welcome to the Yoga with Goga Sunday service. Welcome everyone. Let me get my music done. Shiro, welcome to my space. Um, yeah, so we're just trying to set up a few things here. So as I wait for you guys, Baba, nice to see you. I see Gede. Gede, how is Indonesia? Isaac's family is here. Country Boy Magic made it. How is Germany? Tam taram tam tara tam. Thank you so much, Country Boy Magic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Let me get some music going, and then we can start this show on the road. Yeah, so today we are all the way in West Virginia. I live in Kenya, but I'm in West Virginia.
I saw your background with the trees. I was like,
I know I'm extra like that. I was like, yes, guys, this is West Virginia, y'all. I'm in West Virginia. If you see me in
well, the
Nairobi
trees.
streets,
You got it right with the trees. There's so many of them here. It's a little crazy. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, so Shiro is here, guys. Finally, she made it. She was so busy at work last Sunday, but she made it today. Island Sisters, nice to see you. Baba Wealth, welcome, welcome. Country Boy Magic, nice to see you, brother. How you doing? Country Boy Magic is the king. Country Boy Magic is the king of like premiers, guys. He does videos that really have great views. He's a dancer. He dances. He does magic. He's just good people. And then you have Lily. Lily's here. Lily's mental health is here. Thank you so much. Guys, can you hear us clearly? Because before we start, I just want to ensure that things are running. Shiro is getting comfortable. Shiro is always comfortable on screen. It's not the first time she's been here, so.
Yeah. It's just this old phone is all I have right now. So I'm sorry if it looks messy, but
Your camera is so clear. I don't even know why you're worried. Your camera is so cool. Like it's so
oh,
clear.
good. I'm glad
nice.
because before in Nevada I always had a bad camera, bad connection, but here it's much better. I like it. Everything's better in West Virginia.
Of course. Hey, Superfood Parents is here saying you sound great. Guys, that is Lakita family. Formerly of Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Yeah, that's amazing. Baba says you look like our former first lady.
I see some of the comments, and so
you can help.
Looks like the wife. Oh my gosh.
You can definitely help me read the comments because you are my co-host. So that's the power of being a co-host. You can help out in case I'm slacking on the comments. Yeah, she actually looks like the first lady, Baba. You are right. I just noticed. I'd never even realized that. You do look like her, minus the, and she even had gray, nice hair. But she used to shave her hair though.
Well, usually I wear it down, but this morning we went to run some errands and it rained. It was rain. It was pouring rain, so I just kind of have to keep it out of the way, keep it dry. It's just, I love it though. I mean, I'm not complaining about the rain. I will always love the rain. So I think we're in the perfect place.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for honoring this invite. I know we've been planning this forever, but I'm finally glad we're able to do this. So, guys, if you don't know who the co-host is, this is Shiro. Ike is the one who baptized Shiro. She's called Shannon. She's going to introduce herself shortly. But she kind of stuck with the name Shiro, and anytime that's what she uses nowadays, even on this street.
I love it. So, I think it's a cute name.
Yeah, so Shiro is the CEO of Cold Springs Queen. That's the name. That's her channel name. So you can check her out. I'm just going to have Nightbot drop her link in a bit. You can connect to her house.
My stream is all over the place. It's usually I used to start with chickens. But I had to give up my chickens before we moved because it'd be too hard for them. So now it's there's food. I mean, I talk about faith. Just everything, whatever the mood strikes me. If it's funny, I try to spread the joy. So That's what I love about your channel too. It's always smiles. It's always positive. That's the good stuff. Always gotta have the good stuff.
I love that stuff. I was before I came on this live stream, I was actually having a conversation with Jeremy. Jeremy is also an American. He's actually a veteran as well. And he's a single dad who has raised a special needs son and stuff like that. So we were just trying to set up our Wednesday show. And just trying to get that background and everything. I was just like, there's so much positivity I think we are surrounded with, and sometimes it's good to showcase this the amazing work people are doing there, just for you to be able to appreciate, where everybody's from.
And especially when somebody works hard to do what they do, and you can still smile about it. That's true strength right there.
That's true. That's real strength. That's real strength. Jovita Navarro is here, guys. Thank you so much, Jovita. Jovita is joining from Texas, right?
Oh, Texas.
Yeah, he's from Texas. Jovita, and he always has to, Jovita always has to correct me how to say his name. The J is not silent. It's silent. It should be Jovita. Not Jovita. Jovita.
Jovita.
Yeah. Oh, I like how you said it.
Yeah. Well, it's I know, like in certain Hispanic languages, this J is silent, so it's like Javier. It's not Javier.
Javier.
But
Javier.
But it's a beautiful language, and that's a beautiful name. So I like it.
It's a very beautiful name. Yeah, I agree. Island sisters, how are you doing? How is the UK? Is it overcast and crazy? Today we got some bit of sun. It's winter here in Nairobi, Shiro. So it's been very cold, overcast. My fingers are always like, freezing and stuff. It doesn't get as crazy as you people because you guys have all these seasons.
UK is notorious for being just a very mild weather, very cool. I've flown over the UK once and it was so green, but it was beautiful. I love it. I want to see more of it someday, but we'll just start one place at a time.
One place at a time. Starting with West Virginia. Superfood Parents is saying, good pronunciation. I like this guest. She's amazing. Cold Springs Queen is amazing, guys. You can check out Cold Springs Queen. I need to drop her house so that you can check it out. It's a blend of everything when you go to her channel. Let me see whether I can get it done.
Come check out my house. See,
should I be able to type something on the chat from where you are?
I probably could, but I'm afraid to try just because of all this old cell phone. But
Don't worry, I'll do it for you. I got you. The good thing I tagged you on the live stream, so it's easy to.
There you go.
It's easy to do. Yeah. Hey, Afromex, how you doing? Afromex is amazing. Afromex is married to a Mexican, so there's Africa meeting Mexico. That's amazing. Yeah. So Afromex, African and Mexican. It's a blend.
There's a lot of new people.
And then they have these adorable kids. You totally love this. Yeah, they have these adorable kids, the two of them. Thank you so much, Afromexis. Let me just share Shiro's how. Are you ready? Yeah. So
I am seeing the comments now. Look at this. Wow.
Yes, you can. You can be reading them in case I'm busy doing something or not seeing them. You can say hi to people. That's
very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay, lots of comments. Wow. This is a part of StreamYard I didn't see before. So, Afro Mex Family. Wow. That's a great name.
Connect to the co-host house. And guys, if you want to connect to somebody, you can always ask Nightbot to do this for you. I have a few of my moderators on the chat who can help me out. In case, because once we start chatting with Shiro, I think it may be hard to spot some things, but I will try to keep an eye on the chat as much as possible. It's always easier when you have a guest because you can be reading the chats as she's speaking. So it totally distracts you nicely. Ateware, nice to see you. Thank you so much, Ateware. Ateware is from Philippines.
Wow.
I thought I saw Sada Show. Sada Show, welcome once again to my house all the way from Ethiopia. I loved your food. That was nice Oromian cuisine. Yeah. And then, we have everybody from everywhere pretty much. You have Superfood Parents, that's from the States, Ovita from South Texas, MX Family, that's Mexico, Meet in Africa, Island Sisters from the UK, Lily from the UK there. Who else is from the US? America. Guys, welcome to the Sunday service. Baba from Kenya. Who else is here? Gede from Indonesia, and so on and so forth. Official Maura from Kenya. Welcome.
Hello.
Country Boy Magic, Germany, always dancing, does very good videos. So I think we can get started. So we are all the way in West Virginia. So I wanted to, hey, Ike is saying hi to you. Your friend is here.
Ike! Ike is the one that came up with, I think, my name, Shiro. He was the first one that called me Shiro, and I thought, what is that? And it's very cute.
Ike is one who baptized as Shiro, and then she stuck with it, and now you all call her Shiro. The first time Shannon came to my channel, she introduced, my name is Shannon, and then Ike, the only thing Ike could hear is Shiro, and that's what stuck.
I was like, what is a Shiro? And then I learned a lot of new things from your channel, like, I have no house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all these homeless people are on his YouTube channel. And they were talking about their channels. And I was like, what is going on? But I love Ike's house. And the jackets. I was like, why is Goga giving out jackets? I got to put a jacket on that. We'll give you a jacket. I'm like, well, are these people cold? It's summer. It's so weird. But you guys were so nice to me about it, and I didn't, I didn't feel bad. You guys just made it so funny.
That was so funny. I remember. Oh, look at your adorable cat. Your adorable cat is photobombing your live stream because
I didn't even know that.
They're having the best time. They're like
they're stealing the show.
They literally. I mean, how convenient. They just went and made sure they are placed right behind your head so that you can see them.
That kitten, that's funny because a funny story about that little kitten, 2 days before we were supposed to leave Nevada, we only had the one cat. And my husband was speaking to a neighbor and they heard a squeak. And the neighbor looked down and he's like, you have a cat in your ditch. And my husband looked and he didn't think anything of it. He went over and he was kind of like seeing if it was okay. And it came right to him. It just came right to him. And I told him, I said, what are we going to do about this cat? It didn't look like it belonged to anybody and it was skinny. And so we fed it and we kept it and we just brought it with us. And he's a little adorable thing. I mean, he's a monster at night. He plays so much, but he was our last gift from Nevada before we left. So now he's our cat. We named him Squeaky because that's what he sounds like, and he's a good baby. So if you see them running around behind me, it's playtime. So
I love it. It looks nice. It adds to our conversation. That's your family.
That's my family right now.
Ike and Alex say that everybody says you look like our former first lady. And it just occurred to me. Now Shiro has to go and Google our former first lady.
Let my hair down and not look like that. I don't want to look like an old lady, so.
Ike is saying, I was confused. How did Goga get our former president's wife to interview on his channel? No, Shiro, Shiro, keep your hair up. You can look. We are going to say that on an interview with the president's, the former president's wife. It's okay. I'm going to go viral today.
I like my hair down usually. It's just that, like I said, it's so warm here. It's so warm. So camera's moving around and stuff. So I hope I'm not making everybody dizzy. Sorry.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Welcome, Sangita. I thought I saw SM tutorials there. Official Maura. Everybody, Kenyans, can you behave? Everybody's like saying, "Oh, this is the former president's wife on Goga's live stream." Yes, guys, this is Margaret Kenyatta. She's called Margaret Kenyatta. And
EK.
Joy Kenya, welcome. Alex says that you could be her sister. Guys, can you be? Guys, you're going to make us go viral because people will start saying that I'm on the interview with the president's, the former first lady. She's an amazing woman. I respect her a lot. She's very graceful. Just like you. Hey, Anjali Chetri, welcome, Anjali Chetri. Guys, how many thumbs up do you have? Can we start this show on the road? We've already been here. We normally do like a pleasantries for 10 minutes before we start talking, just to get everyone comfortable on the camera. Shiro is just waving at everybody. Shiro, you can always call their names. It's perfectly fine.
SM Tutorials. Hello. Oh, you guys are so nice and welcoming. I just love everybody here. Joy says hi. Oh, thank you, official. So sweet. You guys, everybody's always got a good nature coming to this channel. There's never problems. There's never drama. It's always good. It's wholesome. And that's why I love talking to you, Goga. You guys are great.
I love talking to you too. So guys, what Shiro was just saying a few minutes ago, Preman Jello is saying hi, Shiro. Preman is all the way in Indonesia. Oh, you guys are making her feel happy. What Shiro was saying just a few minutes ago was the first time she came on the live stream. You know, she didn't know what we were talking about because, and I like how she kept on saying, "Are these people homeless?" I'm like, guys, go and check out Imelda's house. Have you been to Lily's house? So you're like, why is Goga telling people to go and visit people's houses? Like, are these people homeless?
It's like some people have all these people like, I will visit your house, and I'm like, I don't know you.
It was the funniest thing when you came on the live and you were saying that. I was like laughing the entire time because it was just wild. Like, Goga, are these people homeless on your channel? Why are you telling them to go visit each other's houses?
Yeah. I mean, are you guys all living near each other? I'm so far away. I can go to somebody's house like that. But then the people were coming back in the comments and they're like, oh, I've been to your house. And I'm like, how did this person not know? And me, it's like literally in my mind, a house, like, you know, but I started learning and I started catching on. And then I started going to everybody's house and they were coming to my house and I felt better. I just, you know, and I asked my son about a lot of these terms and, you know, I was like, do you know what it means when you get a jacket? And he knows. He's like, yeah, it's a moderator. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me this stuff before I went to, you know, other people's house? So it's good times. But you have to laugh at yourself when you're learning something because, I mean, you know, it's a whole new world on YouTube. It really is.
It's true. Then you get new tabs, you get all these amazing ways. People are laughing. Everybody's laughing at this. It's just so funny. Hey, Josephine, welcome. Thank you so much. 16 million people in the house. Are we at 20 thumbs ups for us to start? Any of my channel mods, just let me know whether we have 20 thumbs ups and we can start this show. It is very funny, but I mean, those are the things that make you enjoy being on YouTube because it's just simple jokes like that. EK is speaking to you in Swahili. She's like, Shiro, can you pull back your hair so that we can feel like we are talking to our first lady? Leave us alone.
Well, I could pull back my hair and just, you know, it is warm here. It's very, very warm, but we have an air conditioner and so I'm a little sweaty and but having the hair up just feels better now. But if I put the phone down, you guys will be looking at the ceiling until I tie my hair up. So I'm just going to hold on to the phone. Sorry.
In case you need to put your phone down, just let me know. I can put myself on solo layout real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me just do this. Hold on. There's my ceiling.
All right. Okay, guys, the host is making her hair. Let me wait for her to make her hair. Hey, oh my goodness, and Delisha is here from Sri Lanka. Thank you so much. And Winnie has just bought us coffee. Let me acknowledge this. Thank you so much, Winnie. Winnie, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me acknowledge that. That is the live stream's first sponsor. Thank you so much for sponsoring the live stream, Winnie Shiko. I really appreciate that. You are my channel member, Imelda. Shiro is back. You have Imelda on the chat. You have Josephine on the chat.
There.
All these people are in green. Please feel free to get to know them. They're amazing people. And if you can't connect to my channel members from the chat, you can go to my homepage on my YouTube channel. All my channel members are featured on my homepage. So you can connect all of them from my homepage. You'll find all of them there. And you just say hi to them and say, Goga asked me to come and say hi. They will know. All my channel members know me and my drama and everything. So that's why they're kind of my members, So you can check them out and say, yeah, Josephine, you have Dan Gede. Hey, my bestie, who is with you? I'm with the first lady of the former first lady of the Republic of Kenya. According to Kenyans say that the co-host is like the first lady, the former first lady. Hey, Maura,
I've got to find out who this first lady is, because
I'm actually going to Google her picture so that, because everybody's been very, I think it's actually very, let's just see.
Who is this person that I look like? I need a doppelganger.
Yeah, she's no longer in power, but she's, let me see whether I have a picture of her somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, I have the perfect one.
My good side, my presidential side.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to share my page here. You'll see something real quick. Margaret Kenyatta.
Is it maybe the hair? Maybe I need to pull the hair forward.
You actually look like her. Like, she's one of the most, look at that. Are you seeing that thumbnail? This one.
Oh my
gosh! That's our former first lady. Yeah. So they're saying you look like her. Like that's
oh my God.
What they're saying.
It's my hair that I won't dye my hair anymore. I used to dye my hair, but I have gray on the sides and I didn't mind it. So I just but I'll try to look more prestigious like her.
No, Kenya should not give you pressure because you look like the former first lady. Leave these Kenyans alone. Hey, Cuddles, how are you doing? Johnny Small Pepper is in the house. Thank you so much, Johnny, for coming in. Everybody's like, she's the most beautiful first lady ever.
Oh.
Wow. Kenyans behave. Kenyans are, and then people are like, let me see. She's our goddess of Kenya. Joy Kenya TV, really.
Oh, wow.
You guys, do you want to jump from the first
She is lovely. She is very photographic, it looks.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady. Once again, Winnie Shiko, thank you so much for that super chat. May your pot never run dry. We really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for sponsoring the chat. I will get started. We've been talking here with the Shiro and I. When we start talking, we may not even discuss anything further. We'll end up catching up here like buddies and stuff. So we need to start.
Yes.
Yeah. So Shiro is all the way in, guys, I didn't even set up the banner. Shiro, you can
Virginia.
Say hi to people real quick as I set up the banner. I totally forgot to do this.
What are you trying to do?
I'm going to set up the banner that runs down there, so you can read the chats, and say hi to people or something in case.
Oh, Winnie.
We are all the way in West Virginia.
Yes.
Like West Virginia, Country Road.
Oh my gosh. You know what's really funny is when we first got here, I kept having that song going through my head.
Yeah.
Come to find out, the people here, they don't really like that song at all.
No, why?
They're like, oh yeah, we've heard that. And they didn't really take well to it. Just in a joking way. They weren't mad at me. They just kind of like, thanks, we've heard that before. So I stopped joking about it. But they're good people here. They're very courteous. I noticed the culture here is very yes ma'am, yes sir, yes ma'am. But some people have that thicker accent than others.
Yeah.
And some of them are very cute. I love hearing them talk. Others, I couldn't understand them. I'm like, what did you just say? And it's like J, and I'm like, did I what? And they're asking me, did you eat? but they're saying it so fast. Is Jade yet? And I'm like, what? And so it's a little bit like coming to your channel for the first time. I had to learn some of the things that they're saying, and they're very affectionately. Their vocabulary is very affectionate. So when you're speaking to somebody that you've never met before here, and they call you baby, hey, Goga baby, how you doing? How you doing, darling? You know,
Shiro, your husband just passed behind you. Why are you calling me baby? I don't want to get into trouble.
What's that?
I'm saying your husband just passed behind you. How are you calling me baby? I don't want to get into trouble.
No, he knows. He's had people talk to him too, but they talk like that, but that's normal for them. They'll answer the phone. It's like, yes, darling. What can I do for you? And at first I thought they all know each other, but that's just how they talk. It's very sweet.
Even in official settings, like
even official said what?
Even in official settings like work or something like
that. Oh
yes,
very prominent in the hospital. So you call the hospital, you know, a family will walk in. Now I got a funny story about the hospital. I can't really talk about where I work or, you know, what I do, but a guy walked in yesterday to pick up his loved one, and he didn't have any shoes on. He just walked in in a tank top and shorts and no shoes, and the lady that I work with, she's like, how can I help you, honey? You know, how you doing, baby? You know, and yeah, it doesn't matter where you are, in the grocery store, or the bank, or just the street. It's very casual. It's very common. So I have to get used to it, because my initial reaction is, do I know you? You know, like,
I know.
Who are you? You know, but I like them. They are genuine about it. They don't say it to be mockingly. They say it because they genuinely just like, this is who I am, and I like it. But yeah, you'd be surprised if you call someplace and they're like, well, honey, you know, but at the same time they say the strangest things, like, you know, just, you know, she looked as guilty as a monkey with a hand in a pickle jar, and it just like, what? You know, just that I was sitting there next to my partner yesterday, and all I heard her say was, oh Lord, look at this creature. And you know, this guy walks up, he was a mess, and you know, I don't know where they come up with their terms, but they say whatever they are thinking, they will say it, and it's not mean. It's just the way they are.
It's from a place of love. That's what you meant to say. Yeah.
Yes. And they will treat you the same as they treat their children. They will, and if you don't like it, it's tough love. It's very different, but I like it, and I'm glad we're here. I just we're still trying to figure out where we're gonna buy our house. I mean, this house right now, we are camping. There's nothing in this house because
space. Yeah.
It's just temporary. So we didn't want to move everything in, because if we find a house next week, we got to move it all out. So
just the way you moved to Virginia, because I remember you said you put your house, you know, for sale, and you got an offer like, you know, you're even shocked last time you're on the live stream telling us about, you got the offer and you had to move. Like, how was that experience?
It was faster than I expected. So let me explain to you how it came about. I mean, first of all, I never really intended to come to Nevada, but when I got out of the military, I didn't know where to go. And I had an aunt who worked in Reno, and she said, if you ever need a job, come on over. So I did. I needed a job. We ended up in Nevada, and the school for my son was excellent. And I wanted to stay until he graduated. And then during that time, I met Cold Springs King. I met my husband, and we got married, and we
I
got
love it.
settled in. We bought a house. We were there. Suddenly, my son, his YouTube is Cold Springs Crota Hunter, but he doesn't YouTube. He doesn't have a house.
I know Hunter because Hunter used to come to look for you on my live streams, because
I know.
Hunter is trying to call the mom guys, and the mom is very busy chatting with people on my live stream. So like Hunter used to know that, if I want to get mom, I just go to Goga's live stream and I'll find my mom there.
It was so bad too, because I saw that he was trying to call me on the phone, but I was ignoring the calls because I'm busy live streaming. And then he was like, fine, I'm going to find out where my mom is. And then he found me on your channel.
And your son actually comes to type on the chat that, Mom, so you are still here.
I was like, shh, don't see anything. What are you doing? And aren't you supposed to be working? And I'm like, but he was a good sport about it. He loved watching some of your stuff too. So
I like Hunter. He's actually been on the chat before. There's a day I think you're actually not on the chat, and he was there and he came to say hi, and I think it was very kind of him.
Really, he's a good boy. He's my buddy. He's still my buddy. I miss him very much. But I was very conflicted when he said he wanted to move to Utah by himself.
Wow.
And I just, I was glad, but I was still like, are you sure?
The mother's instinct is like, why? No.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, I always knew he needed to be on his own. He just has big dreams and stuff, and I didn't want to hold him back. So I let him, whatever you want to do, just tell me if you need help. Yeah. And he's there. He's in Utah. He loves the snowboarding. He took his dog with him.
Oh.
He's happy. So that was a key element as to why we left Nevada. Because out of habit, my husband and I were just working and living and working and living, and after a while we were kind of wondering, why are we still here? Do we want to live out our rest of our lives here? Do we want to retire here? And we really didn't. I wanted a garden. I wanted to raise more chickens. But it was very hard in the desert because everything's dry. People love that desert area because they love the mountains, or they don't like the snow, but we love the rain, we love the snow, we love the green. And so my husband and I had a moment where we seriously had to look at our life and wonder, how can we get to where we want to be? And we realized there's nothing holding us back. We're holding ourselves back because we were too afraid to make the change. And I finally, I found a real estate agent, and I said, you know what? Just put it on the market. Just put the house on the market and see what happens. In my mind, I thought it's going to be 3 to 6 months before anything happens.
Yeah.
So let's just see, right? He posted the house on Zillow and Realtor.com. And we had the very next day, 2 people want to come look at the house. The day after that, another person wants to come look at the house. We had people in our house, and it was giving us anxiety because we didn't like people inside our house, but you have to let them see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And within 5 days, we had 2 offers to buy the house. And I was in shock. 5 days. The house was posted for sale on a Thursday, and by the next Wednesday, we had 2 offers to buy. And I was very unprepared for that. But at the same time, I don't know how to explain this emotion. There was excitement, sadness, happiness, fear. There was all these things going, just like 1 minute I was like, oh my God, we're going to do, what are we going to do? Freaking out. We were freaking out. And then I thought, I love my job and I have to quit now. And, you know, what am I going to do for work? Where are we going to go? We had talked about going to maybe Maine, maybe Montana, maybe North Carolina, maybe even Texas, you know, whatever. And we had to decide now is the time. And I had really realized that I had taken a leap that I was not prepared for. And whether I was ready or not, we're going somewhere.
You had to do it. You had to do it.
Yeah, we had to do it. And my husband had always looked at, he's very analytical, and he had looked at the cost of properties, the cost of taxes, the cost of what it would cost us to move, right? And we had talked about it so long. I even wrote notes. I wrote notes on what to say.
Nice.
We also had to emotionally prepare to give up my pets, my chickens. Aww. You know, and I love my babies. And so I went on Facebook and I found some people that wanted to love chickens and find, you know, a new, you know, so we found them a new home. And within a month, we were packing a U-Haul. U-Haul is a company where, you know,
for moving and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know if you had that.
I think I've watched it. I think I've watched a lot of American movies, so I know it from Netflix.
So that's what we did, and I applied for. This is how I decided on West Virginia. Now I don't want to tell everybody what city we're in because I don't even know if we're going to stay here. But I will say that I applied for work in a bunch of different places, and West Virginia was the first place to offer me a job, even though I was still in Nevada. So I thought, this is not in my hands anymore. I left it to God, and it was a 5 or 6 day driving for 8 hours a day with this cat right there meowing and running all over inside the car with me. I have pictures of this cat sitting on the dashboard of the car, just looking out, and I'm trying to see, so I'm trying to move him out of the way. But it was fun. My husband and I had to realize that we were now free. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. It was it was an adventure.
It was an adventure.
Yeah, we saw the countryside. We saw middle America. We saw working America, the farming cities. It was amazing. And I learned things about my husband that I never knew before. I mean, it was just like, it was a fun adventure.
I know. I just want to circle back to what you said earlier when you moved to Nevada when you left the Army. So there's an Army background there. How long did you serve in the U.S. Army? How was that experience? And how do you think, it shaped your decisions even when you left the Army, when you retired from the Army, post the Army? Because you mentioned the Army, so you're a veteran. So how is that experience?
Well, it's interesting because we were not actually, I didn't even meet my husband until after I moved to Reno. I was married to a young Crota hunter's father, and it wasn't bad, but it was, I won't say anything bad about his father. Yeah. He is a good man, and we're still good friends, in fact. So when we went to Nevada, I was not making any choices for myself. I was not there because I wanted to be. I was there because it was a mutual decision. But things changed. My life changed while we were living there. And that's when I met my husband, and we got married in Lake Tahoe later. Living in Nevada was not the choice I would have picked. I would have never wanted to go there. But it was a blessing in disguise because, like I said, we ended up finding out that the school there was very good for my son. He ended up going to a charter school, a science and math charter school, and he did very well. And so sometimes in life, I found you end up doing things you don't want to do, but it's not bad for you. It's actually good for you. You kind of have to go through those things, and it's for your own good. And it was for me. And if I keep thinking of it this way, if I had never gone to Nevada, I would never be married to this guy. And he's my second chance in life. And I couldn't have been happier to be. I love you.
Oh.
If I'm gonna sit and say something about my husband and he's in the next room, for sure, I want him to know that, this is the one thing that came out of Nevada for me that was wonderful was meeting my husband. So I know now when I see an adventure coming or something coming that I don't want to do, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared. I know it's better for me, so I have to do it. I have to, that's something you don't know how it's going to end up, and that's the point. You need to learn what it's going to make you better, or is it going to make you worse? Yeah. You need to do it. So that's why the West Virginia thing, I kept having these doubts, like, what if we fail? What if we lose a bunch of money? We made some money off the sale of the house. We paid off our debt. We're free. And I didn't want to ruin that. I'm like, what if we end up in debt again? What if we, but we have to make the mistake to learn not to make it ever again. And that's kind of where we're at. But at the same time, we're also having fun with it. It's beautiful and good food. Oh my God. It's so, they deep fry everything here. I don't understand it, but it's great. It's not a bad thing. But you have to purposely tell yourself in your mind that if I'm going to have a bad attitude about it, it's going to be bad. And so we chose to have a good attitude and chose to make this a good thing, and it has been. And
I love that.
I miss my chickens and my son, but I'm okay. I will get more chickens and my son will come visit. I know it. My husband has loved it here, and why we chose West Virginia is the biggest question everybody asks when they find out we're from Nevada. And I'll tell you something, we're not from Nevada. We're from other places. We just met in Nevada and we moved here from Nevada. So I don't want people to think that we are, Nevadans. No. We're not. So
it was just like the meeting point or where you guys met and then it started a whole new chapter.
Yeah. And it's great. And I don't know what else to say about Nevada except that I don't want to make it sound bad, but we don't ever plan to go back there again. We're done with that chapter of our life. And we're
embracing something.
Yeah. It's not bad. And people that are from that side of the country that love Nevada, good for you. It's all yours. You can keep it. But I don't ever want to see the desert again. I'm happy with all these trees and mountains here. It's amazing here.
The trees and mountains behind me, guys. The trees and mountains behind me. I'm in Nevada. I'm in West Virginia. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you something. I'm gonna unplug the phone. This is the blessing about not having a laptop computer. Every morning I wake up and I sit in front of the window, and it's beautiful. And
wait. Let me just see that. I saw this on your video when you were telling us you've arrived. This is your backyard?
This is actually the front yard. Let me move out of the way. There. It's all green. And I'll tell you what. I have beautiful mornings with this in my window, and I'll sit and I'll have coffee and watch. There's hundreds of birds, squirrels. Nice. I mean, it's an abundance of trees and animals and rain clouds. And this is only the rental house where we are staying temporarily. And I'll tell you what, when we find the home that we want to live in, we don't want to live near any other houses. We just want the forest all behind us. And that's the goal. That's what we're trying to find. And I'm gonna keep you guys posted on my, videos and let you know if we find it, what it looks like. But I mean, that is my happiness sitting right there, looking at this beautiful greenery and these animals and the wildlife. It's beautiful.
That's true.
Now the wildlife scares me a little bit. I had this one time, we were sitting here having coffee, looking out the window, and this giant animal, it wasn't a cat, and I was just like, what is that? And it was people. I pulled out the camera and I started videotaping, and I'm like, I don't understand what that is. And it looked like a rat, but it was not a rat. People told me it was a groundhog or a woodchuck or something like that. I was terrified. I didn't know what the hell that was. And I just, I just have to be careful. That's all I have to say.
Great experience. I hope you find your home next to the forest. And one thing that I may just want to just maybe inspire my next question was, I know you're still like trying to adapt, and you had to move fast, because I like what you said about you put your house on sale. You are trying to buy 6 months. You're hoping that you'll still have time to say bye to your job, say bye to everybody you had known for all those years. Do you miss the relationships you had in Nevada? How is that experience? It could even be your colleagues, it could be your friends, it could be the people the relationships you had there. How you adjusting? Because you probably didn't have enough time to say bye. You had to leave as soon as you're ready to.
I have to admit that I am not a person that holds on to relationships very hard.
Wow.
I know it sounds like I'm disconnected to people, but I am very connected to people. But I also, how can I say this? I also prioritize my friendships with people on a different level.
Wow. Okay.
Here's an example. I mean, if I got a call from a friend back home, okay, like my son, if my son called me today and says, "Mom, I need you. I will drop everything and go to Utah right now." Yeah. But when I grew up, I didn't communicate very much with people. Like, for example, I sometimes I'm on your live stream and I'm chatting with you for a week straight. I'm there every day, and then I might fall off the radar for a month.
For a while.
But that doesn't mean I don't love you. That doesn't mean I don't care. It just means some things are happening, but when we pick up and where we left off, we will pick up where we left off again, like nothing ever happened. And so when I leave Nevada, I don't burn any bridges. I mean, I still love everybody that I was friends with there, but I'm sorry, they're not the ones that are taking care of my happiness, my life, my job. I have to do that for myself. But I've written letters. Yeah, if they ever want to come to West Virginia and see me, come on over. We'll pick right up where we left off. But I have to do what's best for my husband and myself. Where my son, I have to trust and have faith that he's going to take care of himself. But if he ever needs me, I'm going to be there. My ex-husband, my son's father, we're still good friends. He lives in Washington. We were just messaging yesterday, and my husband, was looking at some of the pictures that, he's a friend of the family now. And it's not like I don't care. I just, they're over there, I'm over here, and you have to, I guess you have to kind of just do what is important to you. If the friends and family are your priority and you live in a place because of them, as long as you're not miserable, I would say you can't do it for other people all your life if they don't play an important part in what's good for you. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense, and I really respect that, because I think that's what most people never understand. There's a time I think one of my boss decided to shut everybody out, and the only people like she was speaking to was the family. And when she came back and I asked, why is it that you like shut people out and everything? It's like, at the end of the day, when I was going through hell, it is my family that stood by me. No one else, could come in the way like of that bond. And those are the people I prioritize in my life. And that is a lesson actually she gave me. Like, in this life, there's work, and then there's like the bonds, and those are the most important things that you need to always hold on. Because
that's right.
When shit hits the fan, they're also going to come through for you. Not the work, not the the people that you always think we are close to.
That's exactly right. You even have that with family. Some family members will tell you everything that you want to hear, but when it comes down to what's good for you, are they going to tell you the truth about, or are they just going to tell you what you want to hear? Sometimes that's not good for you. And I know that the two most important people other than my husband in life is going to be my son first, and believe it or not, his father, because we both work as a team, the three of us, my husband, myself, and his father, for my son. You know what I mean? So
I love it.
Other than that, I don't know. I mean, I still write letters and write emails and text the people back home, but if I don't hear from them for a while, I don't get upset. I just assume they're busy, and you have
the people who matter to you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they're gonna do what's best for them. So we do what's best for us. And I would even say that I wanted to make sure you knew this too. We may not even stay in West Virginia. I mean, if a month goes by, 2 months goes by, and we don't find the right place, the right home here, what is to stop us from going to North Carolina next and seeing if maybe we'll go to Pennsylvania.
I know.
That's the beauty of the freedom. Yeah. Maybe we'll go to Kenya and see Goga, and you never know.
Of course, we'll come to Kenya.
Well, I've never been there, but I need to find you first, and then you need to show me around. But
I will be more than happy to, of course.
Well, the point is, we are free to decide what we want to do right now, and it's wonderful. It's an adventure. So
it's nice.
We're what do you call that word when you don't have the kids to worry about anymore, and you're just kind of just the couple, empty nests? We have an empty nest.
And that's like, I like what you said. It's a new chapter, new adventure, and Ruthie, nice to see you. Ruthie is my channel member, guys. She got monetized recently. Congratulations once again, Ruthie's this and that.
Congratulations, Ruthie.
Yeah. We have Soul Food of Words. That's my channel member as well, all the way from Durban. I thought I saw somebody else here. Lady Posh, welcome, Lady Posh. Nice to see you, Lady Posh. And then Steven Mikalski, my channel member here, is telling you Nevada versus West Virginia. No contest for me. West Virginia wins hands down.
I agree.
Steven is unapologetically American. Is that American boy? Like, yeah, definitely West Virginia is gorgeous. Steven, who paid you to talk about West Virginia? Who paid you to like really drum support for West Virginia in this live stream? Anyway, West Virginia is gorgeous. Shiro agrees and says the same. So who am I to come in the way of that? Shiro, I'm going to ask you a sensitive question, and you can stop me if you feel it's not appropriate for you to answer.
Okay.
you've served in the army. You retired from the army, and then you got into, yeah. I remember last time you were working at was it the funeral home or something?
Yes.
Where you had to deal. I remember you used to dread those calls, and I remember one thing I asked you one day is like, how do you balance the emotions, especially working in a funeral home and things like that? Because for me it was like you deal with people who are like really going through their worst, you know.
Yes.
And that was, for me, the transition. I know the army must have had its fair share of experience. The working at the funeral home must have had its fair share of experience. Living in Nevada must have had its share, fair share of experience. And now you are embracing a totally new space in West Virginia, trying to discover a new adventure. What would you say are the lessons you have learned from your combined experiences that you'd like to share with people who are watching you now? And who may be going through similar transitions or even challenges based on the kind of work they do. What are like some of those key gems that you?
I love that you asked that. Love that you asked that, because that's kind of the point of these notes that I made. The biggest lesson I learned in just this last 2 months, since the day we drove away from Nevada, is that people that try to control everything, like they want to have a plan. Okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to do this. And if that doesn't work out, they freak out. You can't count on being in control of everything. You really can't freak out if it doesn't go according to the plan you have in your mind. Be ready to be flexible and enjoy it, though. You have to enjoy it, because your attitude, this one lady that I love listening to, she's kind of my mentor, and she's a woman of faith, but I kept expressing to her, especially when the house sold right away, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was getting too upset too easily. Like, it was an emotional roller coaster. And she told me, she said, you do whatever you need to do, but it's your attitude that's going to determine what's important. She said, it's your attitude. And I thought, I guess if I look at it this way, am I going to let it ruin me, or am I going to let it make me happy? And, I got to the point, I guess, where, like, my husband had the U-Haul packed in like 2 hours. He was ready to go. I mean, he had everything that we were going to take. We had to decide what was important and what we were going to let go of. Are we going to give this stuff away? Are we going to take half of Reno with us? No. He gave away a bunch of stuff and, had it in the U-Haul so fast that our plan was, we were going to leave the next day. And then he finally looked at me and he's like, why don't we leave right now? Why do we have to stay one more night?
He was ready.
He was right. Why do we have to stay? Let's go now. Enjoy the drive. And we stopped by Utah and saw my son. We made it fun. And it's a decision that you have to make. I think everybody needs to know that if you're going to get stressed out and be upset, you're going to get stressed out and be upset. But if you decide, I don't want to use a bad word, but I'll just say, forget it. Let's enjoy it. Then we did enjoy it. And we saw the beautiful countryside. You can either see it as a long, boring drive for 8 hours and just, or you can, look at that. Let's stop and see this. Let's go eat there. I've never eaten in some of these places that I've seen. And I thought, this is not a restaurant that we had in Western United States. Let's try it. When are you going to have the chance to do it again? So trying to keep control of something just made me miserable. So I just had to let go and just, and we're still doing that right now, Goga, because I'm telling you, if, like I said, if we don't find the house that we don't want here in West Virginia, we're not going to freak out about it. We're just going to, okay, maybe we should go somewhere else and see what happens there. It's not in our control. Just let it go. Just do what you think is best, and don't stress out about the money. What's the worst that's going to happen? We'll be camping at a campsite eating a can of beans. So what? You know, we'll just do what happens, and just make it the best we can have, best time that we can have. I guess my point is, have a good attitude about it. And that's all we can do. I mean, everybody starts to overthink too easily, and I'm bad at that. I lay there all night long thinking about what's gonna happen, and just, it'll drive me crazy.
I like what your husband said. Like, it's in a sense, it's like, what are you holding on to? It's time to go, like, what are you still hanging on to? And sometimes you just have to let go and then go experience the adventure that lies ahead. Is there like any memory you have from your previous, before you relocated to West Virginia, any inspiring memory or something that you miss? That yes, this was a good time, and I'm glad I was there. But is there any one of those inspiring stories you have based on your previous places you've stayed before? And is there like a way you missed, or like what is the lesson that you learned from that particular experience?
You mean between driving to West Virginia or while we were in Nevada?
Either while you're in Nevada, yes. While you're in Nevada, yes.
I think my favorite is Lake Tahoe in Nevada. I will miss Lake Tahoe. It's beautiful there, and it's very serene, and that's why we chose to get married there. That was the greatest that's my greatest memory. My son was there to give me away, and it was not a big wedding, because my husband and I, we like to keep to ourselves. We're very quiet, private people. So it was just my son and like maybe 2-3 other people, and greatest day of my life. And so I will miss that area. I will miss just the adventures that sometimes my husband and I would just jump in the car and go drive to Lake Tahoe and just come home. And that was the beauty of it. Whatever we wanted to do. Further back in my life, I have to admit, Goga, I did not like the military. I was very arrogant and when I was in the military. And so that was a bad time for me, because you have to be humble in order to be in the military, and I was not. So I didn't like it. So I have to say, I'm glad that I'm out. It was not a good fit for me. But I learned, but I had to go through it because it changed me. At the very end of my military career is what changed me into the person that I am now. So I had to come to faith, and that's a whole different story. I didn't want to bring up too much of my faith on your channel in case it made anybody uncomfortable. But I have to say, I'm glad I went through the worst time of my life in the military, and it made me a better person. So no, nothing that I wanted to take with me about the military, but I'm glad I did it. Just never want to do that again. So that's the only way I could explain it.
I mean, how did you get in the military in the first place? Is it like, is it something that you had no choice, or you just adventurous, you wanted to exploit? Like what got you there in the first place?
I have to say, in a way, I felt like I had no choice. So in my first marriage, I didn't make any decisions. I kind of did everything that my ex-husband felt was important. He was very sick. I knew my son's father and I grew up together when we went through high school together, and he had always been diabetic since he was very young. And we were in a situation where I just had our son, and we had no money. I was not working because I was taking care of the baby, and he was working 3 jobs, and he was working himself to death. He was very sick. He was in a lot of pain. And at the time, I don't know how he figured it out, but he mentioned that if you're in the military will pay all the medical expenses. And it couldn't be him going into the military because he had diabetes. He was too sick. Of course, yeah. So I had to do it. And it just seemed like the only way out. Now, here's an interesting fact. My father, he retired from the Navy, the U.S. Navy. He spent 30 years in the military. He was an officer. He really didn't think it was a good idea. And I think it was because my father was smart enough to know that I was too arrogant and that it would not go well for me. He knew. Yeah. But I felt like I had to do what I had to do. So I joined the Air Force. They did take good care of my son and my ex-husband. They got my ex-husband taken care of so well that, in fact, you know, he's doing so much better now. And I don't think my ex-husband would have lived past 40 years old if it wasn't for the care that he got. And that's a blessing because now my son has his father. So I don't regret that I did it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that I did it. I hated it, but I'm so glad that I did it. I don't know how to explain it.
So, yeah, with the benefit of retrospect, it appears it actually served a particular purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. He needed it. And I did my 6 years in the military. Every time people ask me about it, I always tell them the same thing. I'm glad I did it, but I will never do that again. Never. I mean, I did the one deployment. I went to the Middle East. I hated it. It was horrible. And it was not the people. It was just the situation. I didn't like being there, why we were there. And the more I learned about the politics of why we were there, it felt wrong. But the people made it great. I learned so much about the other cultures of, you know, the cultures in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. They're beautiful, and it was good food. Oh my gosh. They treated us so good. But like I said, it's bittersweet because I hated being in the military, but I'm so glad. I can't say that enough. I didn't want my son to join just because of what I learned about what we were doing. I'm very against the war and any war, and it was not liberating anybody in reality to me. So I told my son, when you join the military, you belong to the government and you're fighting a war for somebody else so that they can make money. And that's how I saw it. And that's just my opinion. I don't want anybody to think that I'm dogging the military, because the people that join the military are doing it for a reason that they believe in. And, you know, I believed the same thing when I joined. So I don't want to go into that.
I totally got your point. And,
thank you.
So you leave the military after 6 years of service. I mean, and mad respect for that. It's not easy. My brother serves in the army, so it's always like, seeing him is always a blessing every single time. And, seeing him is always a blessing because he's been sent on, some of the most dangerous places. So you transition out, you come back to this other life, the civilian life. You get to the funeral home where we met, because you were working there when we met.
Yes.
How did the experience, especially at the funeral home? Because for me, I feel coming from the military, which I think is already very mentally heavy, and then you get right into a space where you have now to deal with people's sad emotions, sadness. I mean, how did that experience impact you, especially at the funeral home, and your understanding about compassion and supporting other people as a person?
You know, Goga, it's ironic. Working at the funeral home was the most peaceful job I'd ever worked.
Wow.
I don't know how to explain this to people, but right now, like working at a hospital where people are in pain and they're fully experiencing the agony or the emotional, nobody enjoys being at a hospital. It is miserable. And it's boring sitting in the room by yourself. And if you're in pain, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get better. You're afraid. You're living the moment of unhappiness for people. And the people that are in the hospital, they hate it there. And their families are upset. And they want to bring their mom home. They want to bring their husband home. They don't like being in that room. And there's things beeping. The IVs are sticking in their arms, or you're seeing your loved one laying on this bed looking awful. It is not serene. Sure. At the funeral home, it's kind of like all they need now is that closure. They already know. It's strange to explain, but a lot of the people that I talk to making arrangements for their mother or their father or their husband, a lot of times they're already at a place where they've come to terms that their loved one's no longer suffering. It's so weird. And so all I had to do was really ask them, what would you like their, for their final disposition to be? Do you want to keep the ashes? Are you going to spread the ashes? Where do you want them buried? Would you like a memorial? And it's how you want them remembered. And it kind of gives them a little bit of joy to know that this is their final act for their loved one. Yeah. So they were already at peace with it. Other jobs I had, people were still kind of going through this emotional roller coaster, and they're still suffering the pains right now when I'm dealing with the job at the hospital. At the funeral home, they were already beyond that. I mean, the worst part, I think, at the funeral home, and this might be hard for people to hear, were the people who were not prepared for the death, and they're still trying to grasp the reality. And so then that's when the hardest part of that job was helping them get that closure so that they can put that behind them. People who lost their children, when people lose a baby, oh my God, that was the hardest, because even for me, it was very difficult for me to lead. I have to be the one to lead them through that. That was hard.
I can imagine.
But for the most part, like I said, it was the most peaceful job I had ever worked in my life. And because I'm trying to give them that light at the end of the tunnel, to let them know things from here on, it can only get better, because you have to grieve. People would say sorry to me all the time when they start crying. They're like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you sorry? This is the best time for you to cry. Go ahead, cry. Absolutely. There's some tissues,
Wow.
I don't know how else to explain it. At the worst time of your life, you may actually feel better. It's so strange, but people did. And I learned a lot from it. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry I left that job, because it was a great job, but I'm not sorry that I ever worked that job. It was my favorite. It sounds weird. I didn't enjoy seeing people sad, but I enjoyed helping them at that time. Does that make sense?
I get your point. It's an experience. And as you said, it's your own individual experience, and you're the one who actually understand,
Yeah.
and stuff.
I would do it all over again. Absolutely. And in fact, I looked for funeral home jobs when I moved here, but West Virginia is a little different than Nevada. They only have a certain position of funeral directors, and everybody else. That's it.
Okay.
So I wanted to work that part in between, and they didn't have it here. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay at the hospital. But the hospital is hard. I don't know if I'll stay there, but we'll see.
Let's see. You talk a lot about your faith. It's not something that I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go so deep on it or anything. But you talk a lot about your faith, and
Yeah.
you know, faith is not exactly a bad thing, because faith sometimes you need a higher power to believe in, and if that is what is going to help us get through certain situations. I'm
Yeah.
Christian, so I do understand some of these things. But anything, I mean, based on just listening to you right now, I think everything has pretty much been a step of faith. It's been pretty much a step of faith. All the life decisions you seem to have been making. And if I was to go all Christian, I always, I curiously and playfully call this live stream the Sunday service, because people are thinking that it's a church service. Yeah. What is that? What got you? And you can explain very briefly. You don't need to go into a lot of details. What got into your faith, and how do you? Or I don't know. I don't know how to word this. How do you actually exercise your faith amid the world, especially in such a secular world, like where you live in, and you have to still stand by it? And sometimes people tell you that no, maybe I don't believe, and you still have to remember to exercise that faith. I mean, how do you find that balance? Just curious.
Well, that's a big question that you just asked. I'll try to keep it short.
Yeah.
How I came to faith is a big story, and I actually have I've made a video about it on my YouTube because it's a long story. But long story short, I was an awful person.
It takes a lot, Shiro. It takes a lot to say you are an awful person. We always want to paint ourselves in good light. Yeah.
It's so. Here's what I will say. Yeah. I am ashamed of the things I've done when I was young, but I'm not ashamed that I was that person. I'm glad I was, because I needed to be. I was arrogant, but I was also very unfaithful as a wife. I was terrible. I was a terrible wife. And this is why I get along with my ex-husband. I don't blame him for, divorcing me, because I never treated him well. I don't even know why he stayed with me as long as he did, but he did. But he was not perfect either. And that's why the marriage didn't work, is he couldn't forgive me for all the things I did. And I don't blame him, and I have a lot of respect for him for even staying friends with me after how terrible I was. But we did it also because that was not a marriage that we wanted to teach our son as a good marriage. We were not even, living in the same house anymore. And so we did it for our son. We divorced, and, of course I met Cold Springs King. My faith came when I hit rock bottom, because the military does get involved in your personal life. If you work a certain job and you have to be trusted with a certain clearance, and then you get personal matters involved, the military will kick your butt about it, and they did. And I went from being a military intelligence airman, like I was trusted with top secret information, and they took that all away because they found out that I was having an affair outside of my marriage, and that set me up for a potential of being blackmailed. And wow. They put me at the lowest of low. They had me scrubbing a floor and wiping windows in front of the squadron, in front of all my counterparts for months. And they gave me a choice that I could either, they had to take my clearance away because I couldn't be trusted. And I pretty much had to end my enlistment because I couldn't do my job. And I was humiliated, and I was very embarrassed, and I felt so low. I decided I was going to commit suicide. And wow. And it was that time that I came to faith, because it was God that told me that I was not ready to leave this world. He had plans for me, and that was all he said. He didn't say what it was. He didn't say how I was supposed to cope with it. He just said that now is not the time. This is not the plan I have for you. And I came out a whole different woman. My ex-husband actually saw it, and he respected it, but he couldn't forgive me for it. And that's okay, because I deserved that, I had done so much damage. So that marriage ended, and I started my journey into faith. And when I met my husband, I knew that I was never going to do him wrong the way I did my son's father. And that is important because it defines me now as a good wife. I mean, the most important thing that I have in my marriage now is that I will never disrespect my husband. And I will always make him feel respected. And I'm proud of it. And so, that was the big thing about my faith as a woman, is there are women that are strong women, and they deserve to be recognized for being good women. And, don't be ashamed of the mistakes you've made in the past. That's what makes you better. Be proud of it. Yeah, I was an idiot when I was young, and I made terrible decisions, but, I'm glad I did, because now look at me. I'm so much better for it now. So that is one of the things in my YouTube channel that I do talks. In fact, after this, later on today, I'm going to do a live stream with my brother up in Canada. We talk about faith all the time, and what makes us stronger? We don't even call ourselves Christians, because sometimes people think that we're looking down on them for,
I know that.
We're not. Yeah, we're trying to be humble. We're broken people. We're all broken people. And if you can treat everybody with the respect that, hey, I'm no better than you, but I believe in this, and I'm no better than you, but I'm good enough to be loved by God, then people will want to listen to you more than when you talk like you're better than them. You can't talk to people like you're better than them, because then you're making them feel like they're not enough. And that's the thing. None of us are better than each other. We're all just as bad as each other. I mean, it's I see the way people talk like, well, they don't believe in God. And if you're going to sneer at them and talk about them like that, you're never going to win them over. So
absolutely.
My brother and I, we have these talks about, well, how can we deal with situations where people treat you like that? How can you deal with a situation when you're challenged because of your faith? And sometimes it's a hard day to sit there and say, oh, everything's great, God is great, but the world is crumbling around you. What do you do? So we address that, and we try to figure out like how we can say the right thing and not sound like, we're treating people like they're, oh, you've cussed a bad word, so God's not going to forgive you. You can't be that way. You can't point your finger at people and expect them to want to listen to what God has to offer. But He has pulled me out of some bad situations, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him. I'd be dead.
Amen to that.
Suffering.
I'm just trying to, like you shared that's a very personal and deep story, and I thank you so much for being vulnerable enough to just share with me that in this space.
Absolutely.
You get into a place where you consider ending things. That's like ending your life. That's like that's really rock bottom. That's really rock bottom. Like it's really one of those things. Hey, King Lion, it's really one of those places that you just like. It's not a good place to be. It's definitely not a good place to be. And I'm just trying to imagine the willpower it took just to turn things around. And I'm sure it was like a lot of inner work and, just for you to be able to get yourself into a space that you can even talk about it. You can acknowledge the mistakes, from the past and even choose to go beyond them. And, I think that's really strong and big of you. Thank you so much for that.
You have to. Yeah. It's a part of you. It's a part of it's a part of everybody. What makes everybody special? Because I think, and here I go with my faith a little bit more. I hope this is okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Everybody needs to realize that nothing makes God more proud of what his miracles can do than being able to show the world how he can take the worst of the worst of the worst and make something wonderful out of it. And so if people ever look at me or if they think I've done something great, it's not me. It's all because of him. So that's important, because I don't want people to think that they're too far gone. I don't want people to say, well, you don't know what I've done. It's bad. Well, good. Take that awful bad person and show the world how great you can become after that fact, because nobody is too far gone. It's not too late for anybody. If I can be sitting on the living room floor with a bottle of pills about to take the whole thing and turn that around to a person who just loves this life, I'm starting over, then you can do it too. Anybody can do it. It's never too late. That's important. I think everybody needs that sometime in their life.
100%. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Let me see. I have one final question, and then you can share anything that you have in your notes that you think I may have left out. Let's see. What advice? I always just have like these questions that guide me generally, but you've answered pretty much all of them. I know I had like 10 questions on my notes, so you've pretty much answered the 9. So the last question is probably very easy. What advice, or what is that one advice you have for individuals, families, people who are considering making a major life change or relocation? You may have answered it.
No. Actually, I have thought of something that I wanted to also say on your, about this whole change.
Yes.
Is everybody's so afraid of what might happen if you fail? What if? Yeah. What if we make a mistake? What if we end up in the wrong place? What if we run out of money? What if? You get so afraid of what if that you're not going to do anything. You're going to end up making no change for the better, and you're going to be stuck. That's why we ended up stuck in Nevada for the years that we were there. We were too afraid, like, what if it's not the right place? Well, you got to put that aside and don't be afraid to take that leap, because that's the only way. Even the most successful people in life, and I'm talking, this pertains more to money, but it's a great example for everything. The people that are most successful in life with money have had failures with money a few times. And the only way to overcome that is to try and try again. What do you want? Where do you want to be? My husband and I had to ask ourselves, where do we want to retire? Where do we want to die when life is over? Where do we want to be, seeing and living when that time comes? And it was not Nevada. And even though we didn't know where exactly we wanted to be, we knew what kind of place we wanted, and that's what we sought out. Don't be afraid to try it. Yeah, something might go wrong, but here we go with that good attitude again. Something might go wrong, but what kind of attitude are you going to have when that happens? Are you going to let it just end the whole thing for you and just stop trying? Or are you going to say, well, I lost $100 on that, but maybe it was a $100 lesson that I can take with me. You know, it just depends. Have a good sense of humor about everything. That's important. I mean, we had to laugh our way through some things coming on the way here. Just we had to go to the bathroom so bad. We stopped at this place and the restrooms were terrible. I mean, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, it's disgusting. So we ended up, you know, trying something else, but we kind of laughed about it because, I mean, we could freak out and just like end the trip and just say that it was a failure, or you know, we ended up going to the bathroom in the woods. There was no you know, just do it. And we were joking about hope there's no bears, but we do it. You have to do it. I mean, you gotta go. So, you know, whatever you end up doing, like you're laughing about it, I'm laughing, it's gonna be a good memory or it's gonna be a bad memory.
Absolutely.
Just, make it a good memory. And so I'm glad we did it. No regrets.
You have a very beautiful comment from Keisha here. I just put it on the screen. Keisha says, a vulnerability and transparency with her weakest points in life led you to your current strong state. Always growing and improving and being grateful for just being. I love
just being. Oh, I love you, Keisha. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. That's all because of God. That there is all glory to God. And I see some people that are miserable. I see some videos sometimes and I feel bad for that person, but I just want to grab them and hug them and say, just, you know, don't worry. Somebody out there is thinking about you. Everybody. People don't realize this, but everybody has someone else out there thinking about them and hoping 100%. The best for them and loving them. They just don't know it. But if you can just remember that, you know, there's a lot more to this world that we don't see and we don't hear. There's a big picture and you don't see it all. So just remember that it's not as small as you think it is. This world is a lot bigger. So it's worth it.
I like that. They always say with the benefit. Hey, Chokuma family, nice to see you. King Lion, are you back from DC? Nice to see you, Juba. Thank you so much. Guys, we're almost getting to the tail end of this conversation. I don't want to keep, Shiro longer. She's been with me almost for 2 hours, so that's like a lot of her time. She's already
it has been almost 2 hours. It's time for my husband to take me out to dinner. So.
Wait, is it dinner time already? What time is it there?
It's only 1:44 p.m. But
wow, lunch.
I like to eat. If we go out to eat, we like to eat a lot and then nothing else the rest of the day because we just get like, it's so full. The food here is so good and it's so rich. But I like if we eat it this early in the day, we're full the rest of the day. It's delicious. But it's
Sunday
heavy.
And it's Sunday and it's just laid back. Okay, nice day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything from your notes that you want to say? The one main question, I know you said your channel is all over the place and everything, but that's one place people can come and check you out. You can, talk about it. What inspired you to start it though? Because that's always the most important question I like asking content creators. Like, what made you click on that create channel? Like, what message did you want to give the world? Because that is always your mission on YouTube.
It's interesting that you asked that. I only made my YouTube channel because I had a few friends that was down and out, and I wanted to make a video to cheer them up. Yeah. And then it turned into 5 friends, and then 20, and then 40, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how do I know 120 people? Where are all these people at? And I didn't know who they were, but they would comment and now I think I'm up to like 500 something. I don't know who these people are, but I'm not interested in getting a bunch of subscriptions or making money off YouTube. It's a friendship circle, and if you enjoy it, great. Say something good about it, or encourage somebody, or meet somebody else that might need a little smile, and or maybe you get some ideas and start your own YouTube channel. Great. But really, it's all about just us being there for each other. And if I either make a video that makes you laugh, I've done my job. If I make a video, or if I make a video that encourages somebody that isn't really having a great day, I've done my job. That's all it's about. I'm just there messing around, having fun. That's all it is.
What else does Shiro enjoy doing other than having? I know she's great. She's a great artist. She drew me very well. She drew me and gave me a very good birthday video. You can check out that video on her channel. She did for me a very nice video. Like, she drew me. I saved that video. Never delete that video, because I think I need to actually download it so that I have it permanently. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I do a lot of things. I mean, my number one thing is I love being with my husband, just cooking, eating, and in my downtime, I love doing artistic things. I am crocheting. I think up there on the fireplace mantle, I'm crocheting a little sweater for the first time. I love to paint and draw and macrame, do like art and make things beautiful, planting and gardening and growing and watching life just come to life. And so I'm very much into artistic things. Nice. And music. My husband and I will sit here with on this. I bought him a new TV, and we will watch just live stream music. And he is a plethora of information about music. He knows the name of the drummer of the band for Journey when they first came out. He knows the name of the guitarist and how he died and how he started. He knows all these things that I don't even, I'm like, so.
I love Journey.
Journey, yeah. And he's
don't
like,
stop believing.
Hold on to that feeling. Yeah. Oh my God, there's the video.
Yeah, that's a video where you're drawing me and stuff. So
that's your birthday video, Goga. Oh, happy birthday. You know what's really funny about that video is I made it and I set it to premiere on your birthday. Yeah. And then a day before it was supposed to premiere, I got a strike because I don't even know why I got a strike. So your video came out a week after your birthday. I was so mad.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that, you had a strike issue because then your channel was like...
I was like, oh my God, what did I do? But that is your Zen yoga pose.
I love
and
it.
Look at that.
I love this video. It's amazing.
You know what's really bad is I did that while I was at work too. I was supposed to be working and I was bored. So I was like, I'm going to make his birthday video. See, it's all my work highlighters. Oh my God.
This was so extra. But I enjoyed the birthday. So Kylie says, I love crocheting. Hey, Trina, motivation. How are you doing? Trina's motivation. Welcome. This was so beautiful. Like I totally appreciate this.
That's what I mean. I love doing artistic things. There you are. Happy birthday, Goga.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It was so beautiful.
Oh.
I enjoyed watching this. It was so good. So guys, she can draw. She has all these other skills. So you can already see we have talent here. Hey, Momo, my channel member is here. Momo's long time. Have you been, sis? Momo's, of course, Shiro, Momo. Momo, you know Shiro. You've been with her on the panel before.
Look at this, Momo's Goga.
She always has to shout my name, and she's a crazy one, this one. And then I when I go to her channel, her kids know me so well. Like the kids are always like, "Where's Goga?" Yeah, so she always has to bring the son and the daughter to say hi to me on her live stream. It's like, okay, guys, your uncle is here or your friend is here. Goga is here. Come and say, and then they come, hi, Goga. They're always so adorable.
You always make me smile. You and everybody on your channel. I just, this is my happy place, is coming to your channel. And I do miss it because most Wednesdays now I'm working a job where I can't even get on YouTube. So I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, Goga's on right now.
I know.
And I'm missing it, but
I know you love our drama. You're part of us, so you're always like, Goga is probably eating something now.
Yeah. And what's funny is I before I came on this live stream, I brought like a couple bags of food that I can chew on.
I haven't even taken my biscuits. I need to go get more tea and stuff.
Yeah, so we could eat together. That's why I brought my bag of chips and But I ended up having so much fun talking to you that I forgot to eat.
We forgot to eat. You've been talking. You couldn't have time to eat, and I think you're being busy. Oh, Momo's is the Momolicious. She changed her name and everything. So.
Oh, that's Momolicious?
That's Momolicious, yes.
Oh, hi, Mama. I saw her say hello to me. And I was looking for Fabulous Aunt and all those wonderful people that always say hello to. It's like a family. I saw Isaac's family. Yeah,
and Fabulous Aunt is probably at work. She's working, I think, or she has a shift today because she's also a nurse.
Oh,
so so she's probably
okay. We'll go back to work. You're supposed to be working.
Fabulous Aunt, she's amazing as well. Anything from your notes that you may not have covered that you want to share with us before we release you?
I just I see everybody saying hello and remind Shiro that I'm Momo. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that. Well, no, I think that's everything. And, I am very humbled that you asked me to come talk to you today. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry about last week.
No worries.
I didn't even realize it was Saturday and Sunday, and then somebody at work said something like, well, they're closed on Sundays. And I'm like, well, what's today? And she said it was Sunday. And I was like, I'm supposed to be talking to Goga right now. And I looked up at the clock and it happened to be noon, and I lost my mind. So thank you for being so forgiving, and I appreciate you guys.
No, it's probably for the best, and it's there's always, as you said earlier when we started this conversation, that things happen, and you always get a second chance, and I think it was probably best we do it today. So thank you.
Well, you're so gracious about it. I felt so bad, but thank you, Goga. I love you, and I love everybody. Too. Thank you so much.
Momo is asking, how are your chickens? Guys, if you have any question for Shiro, please ask her. We have about 17 minutes to end the live. So in case you have any question for her, please let me know.
Last I heard, the chickens were very happy. They went to some girls that have a farm in Nevada near California. And I haven't heard from them since I left Nevada, but that's okay. I have faith that those girls are loving them the way they deserve to be. But I still have my shirt. I have my Chicken Mama shirt. I'm going to get more. And when I do, I'll make some more videos of them.
Yeah. Momo, you got your answer about the chickens. Okay. Any other question for our co-host, our gracious co-host? She shared a lot of tips with us about relocating.
Yeah.
She shared a lot of tips with us about her time at the army, her working at the funeral home, her family, her husband. Yeah. So there was a lot of
that was
stuff.
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having.
The one thing that stood out in this conversation was about, be humble enough to make mistakes and accept moving past them. I think that's really the overriding the story I got from this. Before you go, I have a special treat for you. Let's see.
I don't know if I'm afraid or if I'm excited, but
no, it's good. It's good. I'm going to increase the volume.
I'm ready. Country mama, take me home. Country road.
Country road.
Take me home to the place where I belong.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Take me home. I gotta go outside for this because my neighbors would love it. Here we go.
You are mad.
It's raining. Place where I belong. West Virginia.
This woman is crazy. Country road.
Take me home to the place where I belong.
West
It's
Virginia.
Country mama,
take
me
home.
home. Country road. I have neighbors.
I know.
And everybody just heard that.
That's what I'm saying. You are crazy. How do you go out and you're busy singing with the neighbors? You're mad.
And it's raining. I'm standing in the rain. It's great. All right, Goga. Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you so much. I love you too. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And thank you so much for honoring us with your invite. Please say bye on your own. I'm putting you on a solo screen. Just say bye nicely on your own and then say hi to everybody. And thank you so much.
I will. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm humbled and I appreciate you guys just listening to me babble away. But I hope you take something from it. And I do love you guys. Just remember, there's somebody out there that loves